Hello, I'm Patrick Garrigan, Global Head of Bloomberg Live. Thank you for joining us today for the Bloomberg Equality Summit. We are delighted to welcome you to our sponsor spotlight. It is an honor to be joined today by Yancy, Chief Operating Officer of American Family Insurance. Across her work, Talisa champions diversity, equity, and inclusion, and takes an active role in advocating in the field of social impact. Her work examines how companies, both private and public, can band together to drive meaningful change. American Family has social impact rooted in its DNA and has recently doubled down on its efforts to do even more. In recent years, it has founded the American Family Insurance Institute for Corporate and Social Impact, a venture capital firm focused on partnering with entrepreneurs who are building scalable, sustainable businesses in a long-term effort to close equity gaps in America. Just a couple of weeks ago, American Family announced a $105 million commitment over the next 5 years to continue making an impact on closing equity gaps, which we'll talk more about right now. Again, I'm delighted to be joined by Talisa Yancy. Talisa, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much. It is my pleasure on behalf of our entire team to be joining you here today.
Thank you so much. Well, let's dive right in, shall we? As I mentioned, American Family Insurance recently announced a significant $105 million commitment over the next 5 years to close equity gaps in the United States. You are calling this effort Free to Dream. What is Free to Dream all about, and why is American Family making such a move?
Sure. Well, thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to speak a little bit more in depth about this great program that we're calling Free to Dream. Our mission as a company is to inspire, protect, and restore dreams. So Free to Dream is about our deliberate and direct action to do our part to close equity gaps and to drive community impact and social impact. And that is broken up into $53 million to support our community partners and projects that American Family Insurance Dreams Foundation supports, and another $52 million will be invested in social cause startups by the American Family Institute for Corporate and Social Impact. So that new $105 million commitment is in addition to the $67 million that we've invested over the past 5 years. If you don't mind, I'd love to tell you a little bit more about the impact areas, our focus areas for our Free to Dream program. And they are economic empowerment, education and health equity, climate resiliency, and criminal justice reform, along with workforce diversity, equity, and inclusion. This is, as you said earlier, in our DNA as a company. We are a mutual company, and that really means that we are owned by our policyholders and that our interests are aligned with theirs so that we can fill out the 3 pillars of our mission, which is, as I said earlier, to inspire, protect, and restore dreams.
Fantastic. And I mentioned from the outset, it's clear that American Family really believes that partnership is critical to tackling these longstanding issues, that neither the public sector nor the private sector can do it alone. And I got to be honest, I'm joining you here from Washington, D.C., so I have to ask, is that possible in this age where political divides are wider and perhaps more entrenched than ever before?
Yes, we do believe 100% that partnership is critical, and part of that is because there is partnership. There is partisanship that we see on the national sector, but I don't think you see that along the lines of corporate and community involvement. And we know that we don't have all the answers. We also know that the people that are on the ground working in the communities and other corporate partners are interested in partnering together to help close the gaps that we have dealt with for far too long in our country.
That's wonderful. And I think, as we kind of round out our conversation, when you think about the work that your company does in the space of social impact, what is that thing that lights you up? What are you the most proud of, and why?
Well, there are so many things, but I think the first thing I'd like to say is that we as a company, American Family Insurance, are really used to existing in a space where we have to believe that tomorrow is going to be brighter than today. And that's what the business of insurance is. And we've made it core to our DNA, and our mission is to inspire, protect, and restore dreams. So we believe in optimism. We believe in taking a moment to be grateful for what we have achieved, but we also believe in doing hard things together and working together, not just inside of our company, but with our customers, with the communities that we serve, and as you mentioned earlier, with partnerships. We believe that it is critical. The other thing I'm really excited about for our company is that when I look at the people that I work with and I look at their commitment to these very meaty and weighty topics, such as equity, social impact, inclusion, how do we create a more diverse and inclusive world? How do we make sure that some of the moments that we saw in the past year are the worst ones we see, hopefully, going forward? That I think the people inside the company, along with our vast network of partners that our Dreams Foundation has been working with for years, that we have it within our DNA to make sustainable and impactful change going forward.
That's wonderful. We spoke of gratitude, and I wanted to round out by expressing mine. Thank you so much for being with us today, and Talisa, for sharing your expertise. And thank you, our audience, wherever you're joining us from, and enjoy the rest of the Bloomberg Equality Summit.